let's go. Multiplying fractions efficiently here. So who remembers learning how to multiply fractions? You went ahead and said, hey, we're going to go ahead, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then after, you simplify. Who was taught that way? You multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and then you simplify. Who has been taught that way? Right on, right on. All right, who here has not heard of the idea of reversing this, where you can actually simplify first and then actually multiply? Because again, I'm going to blow your minds here. I'm setting you up. This is how we have been shown to do it before. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then simplify. But I'm going to show you that it's possible to reverse the order. This is going to be the better way, always. There's not many times where I tell you to do it my way. This is one of the very few times where I'll be like, yo, this is actually the faster way. So let's go ahead and try this out. I got you, Destiny. So guided warm up here. Let's go and multiply the following fractions and simplify if possible. So everybody, let's go ahead and let's suffer for a second. So let's follow method number one.
Hey, hope you're doing well so far. I just want to continue offering my support to help you succeed the right way. In case you didn't know, aside from the YouTube channel, I have a ton of free resources to help you succeed. I got blogs on my website. I also have a free class once a week. So feel free to check out the schedule that's in the link of this video. That way you can check out the schedule and see when the next class is, get ready for the next free one. And when you sign up, you also get a free practice test that has video solutions to help you learn from every mistake and make a list of the topics that you're going to want to work on. So here, again, I'm here to help you succeed. Take advantage of these materials and then shoot me a text if you have any questions. 567-698-8867. So again, I'm Coach Anderson. Sign up for my free materials. Let's keep acing the ASVAB. And if you want more, text me. I'll show you more.
Let's go ahead and multiply the numerators. So 4 times 15. Anybody know what 4 times 15 is off the top of their head? 3, 2, and 1. Ozzy, good job. So let's go ahead and show everybody how to do 15 times 4 right over here. All right, 15 times 4. I'm not going to show you the mental math way. I'm going to show you the regular way. We'll go ahead and do 5 times 4. That's going to give us 20. Carry the 2. Then we have 1 times 4 is 4. Bring that 2 down. That's going to be 6. So that'll be 60. So over here, what we're going to do is we're going to take that 60. I'm going to write that right here. 4 times 15, 60. Then down here, we have 9 times 14. 9 times 14 at the top of your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Jalen, you know you did that like 10 seconds before I asked it. So with that, we're going to go ahead and do 9 times 14. Jalen, no. Look good. So with that, 14 times 9, let's go ahead and get it done here. We got 4 times 9, 36. 1 times 9, 9. Bring that 3 with you. That's 12. So Jalen, good stuff. 126. Okay, great. We've done the multiplication part, right? We've done that. Now, what's the next step, everybody? It starts with the S. What was it again? What do we have to do now to the fraction? Yeah, we got to simplify now, right? We have to simplify this. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and simplify this. Cool. All right. So everybody, since 60 and 126 are both even, what are they both divisible by? Right, 2. Now, for those of us that are 2 notes before we continue, because I want to make sure that everybody here feels included. So number 1, over here, was anybody here struggling to keep up with the speed of, 5 times 4, 20, over here, 4 times 9, 36. Was anybody here struggling to keep up with simply discussing multiplying numbers there? Okay, so for those of you that are saying yes, again, be honest with yourselves, because this is how I can be at my best for you. If you're feeling that you are falling a little behind with the speed of the calculating there, you need to make sure you practice your calculating skills. If you have an iPhone, there's a mental math app that I always recommend you download. There's also one on Android as well. But download the mental math app, practice, practice, practice. Literally 5 minutes a day works wonders. Can I get a voucher for that? Who here is using a mental math app on a daily basis and feels and sees how much better they're getting? There you go. If you're using an iPhone, that's the chat box over there for me. So pretend it's over there for you. But yeah, so there it is. Seriously, man, it works. It works. It's just called mental math card games. Mental math card games. So with that, number one. Now, number two. Who here does not know what simplifying a fraction means? Who here does not know what simplifying a fraction means? Who here does not know that? So give me a yes, be honest. Be honest. Okay, so simplifying a fraction. Let's go and write that here. Simplifying a fraction. So essentially what this means is, and don't worry, I'm gonna write this in a way that sounds like really technical. I swear to God, it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and come right back around in a few moments and explain it. I'm gonna break it down, and I promise you it'll make sense. So simplifying a fraction, what this means in the way that I want you to write it is basically canceling out the same factors from the numerator and denominator. From the numerator, numerator, not numeration, numerator. And again, everybody, the numerator is the top or bottom. Quick, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, Nick, we're not talking about social events right now. We're talking about ASVAB math. So with that, boom, the numerator is the top and the denominator is the bottom. So canceling out the same factors from the numerator and the denominator. And I'm going to write an example for you right now. Why do I keep writing denomination? Denominator, bottom. It's probably my mom telling me to go to church. So with that, boom. So we have that right there. So canceling out the same factors from the numerator and the denominator. So Carrie Ann, it's just 6 jokes. So with that, here we go. Let me show you an example here. So for example, everybody, let's go ahead and say we got 2/4. So example right over here. 2/4. So everybody, we all know that 4 is the same as 2 times 2. Yes or no? And let me actually use a different number than 4. Let me use 6. 6 it'll make much more sense if I use 6. So let's say we have 2/6. Everybody, yes or no, can we agree that 6 is 2 times 3? Right? We can all agree that 6 is the same thing as 2 times 3. So allow me to write this example for us here. We are going to have 2/, and then we can say 2 times 3. Right? Because again, 6 is the same thing as 2 times 3. Okay, so everybody, what we're saying is by simplifying, we are going to go ahead and notice that you have a 2 up top and a 2 on the bottom. Everybody pay attention to me real quick. Put your pencils down for a moment. Just look at me really quick. The fraction symbol, what operation does that mean? If I say 10/2, what operation am I saying? Division. Everybody, if I have a 2 up top and a 2 on bottom and I'm dividing them, what happens if I divide the same exact numbers? What happens? They cancel. Exactly. They cancel. And so because of that, you're only left with the 3. But what we mean by canceling is we mean that it reduces to 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1 because 2 goes into 2 one time. It only fits in there one time. So we have 1/3 as our final simplification there because there's nothing else that you can take out. That's what we mean by simplifying. 2/6 and 1/3 are the same exact number. You can grab a calculator. 2/6 gives you 0.33333 forever. You put in 2/6 or 1/3, excuse me, you'll get the same thing. 0.3333333 repeating. These are the same numbers. We call it simplifying because you bring it down to the smallest number that you can talk about. That's pretty much it. So for example, it's the difference between saying, yo, hey, can I have 200,000 out of 400,000 of your pieces of pie, of pizza pie, versus, hey, can I have half your pizza? I said the same thing. I said the same exact thing. One of them just sounded really long and annoying and probably not really understandable. And the other version, oh, we get that half. Cool. Sounds good. So yes or no, you can grab your pencils now. Does that make sense to those of us who were having a little bit of trouble before? Cool. So I've listened to your surveys. For those of y'all that have given me the math surveys, I understand that I can get even deeper into the ideas that we're talking about. So take a quick screenshot if you need to take a screenshot here. And I'm going to come back and continue the problem. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. If you want to go ahead and circle or highlight this, actually, take another screenshot. Factors is a number you need to, a name you need to know. It's the name of an idea, the numbers that multiply to get the other number. If the denominator is odd, it doesn't matter. You can have 15. 15 is 3 times 5. You're good. You're good. You just have to know the factors of the number. So watch this. If I'm looking at 60 over 126, everybody, is it true that 60 is the same thing? 60 is the same thing as 2 times 30. Yes or no, is that true? Right? I think we can all agree that that's true. Allow me one moment here. Let me move this over to the side. All the way over here. Give me, wait right there. All right. So let's go ahead and tackle this here. Everybody, is it true that 126, well, 120 divided by 2 is 60. So 126 would be basically 63 times 2. So everybody, is it okay, or do you agree that 2 times 63 is equal to 126? Again, all I'm doing is rewriting this. 60 is the same thing as 2 times 30. 126 is the same as 2 times 63. So everybody, what number am I going to cancel from the numerator and denominator? The 2. Exactly, because again, the top and the bottom, they're being divided. So if you have a 2 up top and a 2 on bottom, boom, you get to cancel it out. And so now we have, again, 30 over 63. But everybody, are we done simplifying? Can we continue simplifying? Because again, simplifying means taking out all of those repeated numbers. Let's take out all of those repeated factors. Are we done? We are not done. There's more that we can do. There is more that we can do. Everybody, answer me this, please. 30 is what times what? 30 is 3 times 10. Okay, sounds good. 3 times 10. So let's go ahead and write that out there. 3 times 10. And then if you wanted to break down the 10 into 2 times 5, you absolutely could, and I encourage it if you need to. Now, over here, we have 63. Is 63 divisible by 3? Could you divide 3 into 63? Yeah, we could. And if you needed to test it out, you absolutely could. You absolutely could. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and bring down, or excuse me, 0. And then we're going to bring down the 3. 3 goes into 3 1 time. And so we see that we would get 21. If we divided 63 by 3, we would get 21. So, okay, cool. Sounds good. 3 times 21. Everybody, what can I cancel now? Great. Sounds good. So we can go ahead and cancel the 3. Top and the bottom. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And so after that, what we'll do is we'll continue here and we'll have ourselves 10 over 21. Everyone, are we done? Is that as far as we can go? Is that as far as we can go? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say yes, because when you check out the 10 is just 2 times 5. And the bottom is 3 times 7. So those don't have anything in common. So it's not worth continuing. There's nothing else to do. So we are good. The final answer will be 10 over 21. That's what the final answer will be. Everybody, did that make sense in terms of what we did? Step 1, we went ahead and multiplied the tops. And then step 2, or multiply the tops and the bottom. And then the second step, simplify. We took out what we knew we had from both. Bam and bam. Cool. And I'll give it a couple more seconds for everybody to answer. Again, remember, it's okay to say no. We got plenty of examples. And as long as I know where we may be getting stuck, then I can be at my best. Okay, David. So, okay, let's go ahead here. Everybody, who here enjoyed how much time that took? Who here enjoyed how much time that took? Anybody? No, you guys thought that's forever? I agree. That did take way too long, right? So let me show you how this can be much easier for you. Watch. I'm going to write down the same exact problem. Okay, I'm going to write down literally the same exact problem. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this page. Okay, so allow me over here to go ahead and replicate this. Now I'm going to erase what I've already done. And what I'm going to do is, instead of multiplying the tops and multiplying the bottoms, I'm going to look for anything that I can potentially simplify now. So here's what I mean, everybody. Do me a favor. Everybody, 4 is the same thing as saying 2 times 2. Can we say 2 times 2? Sounds great. 2 times 2. Now let's go ahead and take a look at 15. Everybody, what can you break 15 down into? Just a question there. Right, that's 3 times 5. Okay, sounds good. Wow, this is kind of easy when you're dealing with smaller numbers, right? It's not like you got to find the factors of 63 or 126. All right, so everybody, so we see at the top we have 2, 2, 3, and 5. Everybody, does a 2, a 3, or a 5 appear in 9? 3 absolutely does. So let me go ahead and highlight that in green. And that's going to be 3 times 3 right over here for 9. Because again, 9 is 3 times 3. And then from there, we'll go ahead and take a look at the 14. Everybody, the 14, does 14 contain a 2, a 3, or a 5? Because again, if it's on the top and the bottom, we can cancel it out. That's the idea. That's the idea. If it's on the top and the bottom, we can cancel it out. So a 14, everybody, that's definitely going to be 2 times 7. Look at this. We're dealing with smaller numbers, and we get to cancel a lot sooner. We get to deal with smaller numbers, and we get to cancel a lot sooner. So let me show you what this means. What this means is, everybody, I have a 2 on the top and a 2 on the bottom. Boom. And so before I even do that, is anybody here looking at me right now saying, Coach, how do you simplify from this fraction and this fraction at the same time? Is anybody asking me that? Like, yo, Coach, why is that legal? Aren't you breaking the law right now? Is anybody feeling that type of way right now? How can you simplify from that fraction to the other fraction? Okay, fair question, right? I got you. Everybody, is it fair to say the rule, we just learned this, the rule for multiplying fractions is you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. True or false? Is that not what we said? We said if we're going to multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. We said it, right? Okay, so if you're confused about that, then watch this. You're allowed to cross simplify that way because this is literally this. If you're going to multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators, then what you have going on right now is literally the same thing. 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And then on the bottom, 3 times 3 times 2 times 7. So everybody, now they're all the same fraction. Yes or no? Now they're all in the same fraction. There it is. And that's why you're allowed the cross simplify between one fraction and another. If you're multiplying the fractions, you can cross simplify. That is a legal move that is completely okay. Because again, if it happens here, again, all you're saying is that, yo, when you multiply them, they're going to be on the same fraction anyway. And so you'll cross out what you have of the same. And then over here as well, Guess what you see here with the 3 there and the 3 there? Boom. You can cancel it out. Yes or no, or on a scale of 1 to 10, how much sense did that make? Again, the ability to cross simplify. How much sense did that make? And be honest, if it's a 0, it's a 0, it's fine. I really just want to keep a good ear and really continue paying attention to what y'all need here. All right, sounds good. So with that, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and let me mark everything again because we canceled this 3 and that 3. And all I'm doing is showing it here. Now, everybody, now that we've canceled, guess what happens in our favor? What happens in our favor is that, we have some pretty easy numbers to deal with. I got 2 times 5. And then we got 3 times 7. There's nothing else to simplify, so I can just go ahead and literally finish the problem off. I'm good. I'm done. So all I'm going to do is just multiply the tops, 10, multiply the bottom, 21. Done. Look at that. Compare this, dealing with these numbers, 3, 5, 2, and 7, dealing with those numbers versus dealing with, 60 and 126. I mean, like, what would you rather deal with? Would you rather deal with, maybe 4 really small numbers or 2 really big numbers that are a pain in the, right? So that's the idea, like that's what this comes from. One, you want to be able to be confident about what you're doing. What better way to be confident than to deal with smaller numbers? And then number 2, this is going to pave the way for you to build up your speed on the ASVAB. Because once you get techniques like this down, dividing fractions coming up next, along with other topics like proportions and things like that, then you're going to be putting yourself in a position to spend less time on this problem so you can give yourself more time on the next one. So this always matters. This always matters. So with that said, let's try out the second one together here.
As a reminder, I'm Coach Anderson, and I have a free practice test that has video solutions. That way you can learn from every mistake and see the names of the topics that you need to work on. So go ahead, don't waste time here. Sign up for the free practice test. That way you can get those video solutions and keep learning and growing every single day. Oh, and by the way, it also includes automatic registration to my free classes that I host once a week. They're 2 hours apiece, typically Monday nights. So what do you got to lose? Let's go ahead, sign up, and I'll see you in there so we can ace the ASVAB. Let's keep it going.
Number 2. So 3 over 5 multiplied by 15 over 19. So with that, boom, let's go ahead and try this out. I am going to go ahead and do the long way, which would be 3 times 15, 5 times 19. And then from there, you got to figure out that 5 divides into both 45 and 95. And I know that was pretty fast, right? 5 times 19. How do you know it's 95? Go to my mental math videos. I say this every class. So with that, 95 divided by 5, what's that going to be? Oh, guess what? When you're trying to simplify it, everybody look at what happens. Okay, 5 goes into 9 one time. 5 goes into 45 9 times. Okay, great. So if I divide the 5 out from the top and the bottom, what we end up getting is, okay, cool. Let me move this over here. We end up getting 9 over 19. Cool. And that would be the answer. But can anybody tell me what the irony is right there? Like, what's ironic about that? What's funny about that? Nah, Jalen, it's not that it's too long. It's not that it took way too long. No, it wasn't that. Yeah, David, it's the 5. The 5 is the funny part. Did you guys miss that? Look at this. Here's what we just did. We just went ahead. We did 5 times 19 to get 95. And then we divided the 95 by 5 to simplify because it was in the top and the bottom to go right back to 19. We really just did that. We really just wasted time. We literally legit just went 5 times 19. Then whatever that is, let's divide it by 5. Of course, we were going to end up back at 19. Of course, we were going to end up. Of course, we were going to end up back at 19. Because again, you're multiplying and dividing by the same exact number. So wherever you start is where you're going to end if you do the same backward steps. So with that said, let me show you how much better this can be, and even funnier because you're going to be walking out of MEPS with a passing score. Here's what we can do. Allow me to go ahead and go to the other page here and do it the other way. So here's what I mean. Here's what you have to ask yourself, everybody. Here's the question you want to ask yourself. Is there a factor? And again, the word factor just means the numbers that multiply to get to that number. The numbers that multiply together that get to the other number. So all I want you to ask yourself is this. Are there any factors of the numerator that are the same as the denominator? And you need to be able to look at numbers and tell that 6 is 2 times 3, that 12 is 3 times 4, which also includes 2 times 2 because of 4. You need to be able to look at 15 and say, yo, that's 3 times 5. You must be able to do that. If you can't, there's no point in complaining about it. There's no point moaning about it. Like it really just get to work. Honestly, if you're not willing to put in the time, I can't help you, man. Like seriously. So with that, 15 is the same thing as 3 times 5. And you guys know when I'm stern like that, I'm coming from a sincere place. I want y'all to succeed. So 15 over here, we'll break that down, and that'll be 3 times 5. And so from there, we still have the 5 and the 19, but look at what you notice. That you can cancel the 5 from the top and the bottom. Everybody, do we see that? If we take a look at both fractions, we are able to cancel out the top and the bottom, the 5 that's there. Perfect. So with that said, look at what happens. If you were able to spot that, then you put yourself in a position to say, yo, I got 3 times 3, which is going to be 9. And then I have, what number is now here, everybody? When we took away the 5, what number is left? Right, it's a 1. A 1 comes about. So we have 1 times 19, 1 times 19, which is going to stay 19. And look at how we got the same exact answer as the previous question. Same exact answer, but with a less of a, what the heck was that? Okay, so yes or no, is anybody here making sense of what I'm putting down? Are we feeling like we're getting the gist of it? Again, this is about saving time. If you don't already know how to multiply fractions, that's okay. But we need to go ahead and first start there, and then we'll get into the idea of simplifying them. We can break it down into specific topics. So I want to give you guys the opportunity to try this third one on your own. I'm going to go ahead and start this timer here. Let me let iPhone in. I'm going to start this timer over here and give you all the opportunity to try it out over the course of about a minute, 30 seconds here. The timer has started. I'm going to put it up in a moment. So let's go and get to work here. So I'm going to first do it the long way. I know this is the last time we'll do it the long way. I just need to make sure you guys understand how much time this actually saves. So here, when we take this out, 9 times 10, that's going to give us 90. And then over here, let me actually use some color coordination here to make life easier for a lot of us. So 9 times 10, that's going to give us 90. And then we have ourselves 5 times 12, and that's going to give us 60. So when we take a look at that, are we done, everybody? Is there a way for us to continue by simplifying? Like, do they share numbers? Right, they definitely share numbers. And here's the thing, everybody. The thing about numbers that end in 10, what do you know they're always divisible by? Numbers that always end in 10 are always divisible by what? Or end in a 0, basically. Numbers that end in a 0, true. They're divisible by 2. They're divisible by 5, but most importantly, 2 times 5 is 10. Again, if it ends in a 0, it's even, so you can divide it by 2. If it ends in a 0, that means you can do 5s, because 5's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So if it ends in 0, you can do 5. And the great thing is, if you know it's 2 and 5, 2 times 5 is 10. So you can go ahead and actually turn 90 into 9 times 10. And everybody, you can turn 60 into what times what? we can turn 60 into what times what? 6 times 10 if we wanted to, see those factors. Because now what we can do is we can cross out the tens and we can write ourselves 9 over 10. Are we done, everybody? Is that as simple as we can go? Is that as simple as we can go? That is a good question. Is that as simple as we can go? No, it is not. It is not, because we're looking at 9 and we're looking at 6. Everybody, 9 and 6, what do they share in terms of factors? 3. Exactly. 9 and 6 are both divisible by 3. And so you can go ahead and actually further split that up and say, hey, we got ourselves 3 times 3, because that's what makes 9. And then 6 would be 2 times 3. And you can go ahead and have yourself a good day. Cancel that out, and you're left with 3 over 2. Are we done now? All right. So an alternate way would have been if you would have noticed that 90 and 60 are both divisible by 30. Yes, if you would have seen that, perfect, great for you. So, it would have been a couple less steps, which is good. Now, with that said, let's go ahead here and get into the redo with lightning fast speed. So if you're using the simplify before you multiply, this is the great thing about it, guys. You look at this and you might be saying, yo, let me write that and that. And I'm looking at the 9 and I'm saying, okay, I know what makes up 9. 9 is 3 and 3. Is there anything in the denominator that 9 or 3 can go into? Which one is it, everybody? Exactly. 12. Boom. So you know that 12 also has a 3 in there. So what you can do, highlight that as well, because I'm going to replace that 9 with 3 times 3. And the 12 is 3 times 4. Sounds good. And then from there, what else do I notice? Oh, everybody, 10, well, what makes up 10? 2 times 5. Is there a 2 or a 5 anywhere in there? We know that 10 is 2 times 5. So is there, well, boom, right there, definitely there. There's the 5. Is there a 2 in 12? Is there a 2 divisible in 12? Yeah. Because when you have your 3 times 4, yeah, your 4 is divisible by 2. So you can actually change that 4 into 2 times 2 later on. But again, this is, you want to get to the point where you're doing this in your head. So to keep it simple, what we're going to do, highlight the 10, highlight the 5. And watch this. Look at what cancels out immediately right there. Then you can say that the 5 cancels out right there. And if you really needed to, or which we will eventually, you can notice that the 4 is 2 times 2. Because that's going to let you cancel this out also. So over, let me grab a different shade here. Let me make this a little skinnier. Take that 2 and that 2 out. So what we have left is literally going to be, look at this, 3 over 2. Probably should just use a circle there. Perfect. Boom. So you can take care of all of that, again, without even putting a terrible amount of effort into actually multiplying the numbers. You can go ahead and literally, boom. Yeah, exactly. You didn't have to multiply at all here. You didn't. And so I know I'm taking a little more time when it comes to this part of the process, but like seriously, this is what's going to allow you to find that sense of calm and confidence that you're looking for, really. So with that, isn't that an improper fraction? So my response to that is always this. Remember, everybody, if your answer is an improper fraction and you're wondering if you should change it to a mixed number, what do I always say, everybody? Look at the answers. Exactly. Look at the answers. Don't turn it into a mixed number if you don't have to. If you see 3 over 2 on the answers, pick 3 over 2. Why would I change it to 1.5? I don't have to. So that's my answer to that for sure. So yeah, 3 over 2, 1.5, 1.5, all of that works. Muhammad, fierce stash, man. So with that, let me go ahead and let's see here. Cool. So before we get a look at dividing fractions, I'm going to go ahead and put in front of you right here. I'm going to put in front of you these three problems for multiplying fractions. We are going to do dividing fractions, but I'm just going to do these three problems, then show you the rules for dividing fractions, and then we're going to move forward and do the mixed practice. So here we go. I'm going to give you a minute and a half to try just one of these, and I'm going to give you the answers to all three. Go ahead. Over here, 3/5 times 1/3. So remember, the technique that we're looking at here is being able to simplify before you multiply. So this one was a pretty clear one because you see that you're going to have a 3 on the top and a 3 on the bottom. And so remember, when you have the same number on top and the bottom, that means the numerator and denominator share factors. And just again, just as a reminder, that division symbol, the fraction line, that means you're dividing. If you have the same number up top and same number on bottom, you're dividing the same numbers. And those always cancel out. Always cancel out. So that's just going to leave you with 1 times 1, which is 1, and 5 times 1, which is 5. And you're all set. So give me a thumbs up or a yay if you are good on that first one. Sounds good. There we go. Now, oops, I don't know why that erased, but there you go. And now let's go ahead and take a look over here. Did anybody look at this one here and say, what? Anybody look at that and say, oh, the answer is 0? The answer is 0 because, you know, if you cancel everything out, that's 0, right? You know, you just take that and you take that. And so the answer should be 0. All right, no, fine. I'll go ahead and stop trying to trick y'all. No, the answer is no to that. Remember, when you cancel things out, the same thing divided by itself is going to be 1. So like 5 divided by 5, 1. 10 divided by 10, 1. 17 divided by 17, 1. So really what you have, again, once you cancel out, are a bunch of 1s. So 1 times 1 is just going to be 1. And 1 times 1 is just going to be 1. And then 1 divided by 1 is just going to be 1. And so there we have that. Right, cool. So all set there, looking like we're feeling pretty good about that. All right, now let's take care of the third question here. The third one here, we got 4/3 multiplied by 3 times 5. So with that, here's what we got. Well, I'm taking a look and I see I got a 3 on top and a 3 on bottom. So it looks like I got no other choice than to cancel those out. And we got 4 times 1, which is 4. 1 times 5, that's going to be 5. And we're done. And there we have it. How are we feeling, everybody? Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty confident in our ability to, again, spot those cancellations when we can, if it's given to us, right? These are smaller numbers. We want to deal with those bigger numbers. But for right now, I think we can find a little bit of peace here, right? Oh, no, Dylan. No. Chill, Dylan. I'm making sure that we get the fundamentals down. So with that, so yeah, exactly. You know, being able to practice, because the thing is, look at it like this. If you're trying to learn how to be a major league baseball player, these guys are hitting baseballs that are going in excess of 95 miles an hour easily. So, well, obviously, you got your different pitches, but let's focus on the fastball. Do you think that to train for that fastball, you want to start out day one by just, getting thrown 100-mile-an-hour balls all day, every day? Or do you think it might be smart to take a second to learn how to actually swing a bat, to learn how to actually get the right angle so you can get the maximum lift and get the maximum distance on the ball, right? Learning the timing of the swing, depending on how fast the pitch is, recognizing the pitch. You got to learn all of those simple mechanics that build up to the big thing, hitting a home run off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So does that make a little more sense for anybody why we're going through each phase like this? Because I don't want anybody here to feel like we're wasting time. I want to make sure that we understand every fundamental here. And then with about 25, 30 minutes left, we're doing a lot of drill and kill. So we'll have time to get that practice in, don't worry. So let's go ahead and take it back here. What we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to divide fractions. Has anybody here ever heard of the KCF method? Keep, change, flip. Yes or no? Have you heard of it? Give me a no if you have not. Yes if you have. If you forgot, you forgot. Let's go. That's fine. That means you heard it though. That means you've heard it. So here's the thing. Here's what keep, change, flip means. When you're dividing fractions, again, this is the rule that we're using for dividing fractions. Let me make this a little bigger. Dividing fractions efficiently, everybody. This is how you divide fractions. First things first, you will keep, change, flip. They both have the same one. They both have the same one. Same first step. Whenever you are dividing fractions, everybody repeat after me. Write dividing. Just write the word dividing, hit enter. I want everybody to get it into their brains here because there's so many times right here, so many people ask, do we need to keep, change, flip if we're multiplying? No, it is only dividing. So please do me and yourself a favor. Type the word dividing in the chat box, hit enter. Right, dividing. You don't have to say dividing fractions, just say dividing because this is going to get ingrained into your head as a memory of me being annoying. And you're going to be like, wait, why was he being annoying? Oh yeah, because it's only dividing fractions. I got you. So with that said, boom, you're going to keep the first fraction the same. You're going to change the sign or operation from division to multiplication, and then you're going to flip the other fraction, and that's it. So for example, let's go ahead and say that we are going ahead and doing 2 over 3 divided by, and then let's say we're doing, someone give me a random fraction. Go, 5, 4, 2/3. No, come on, no. 4 over 7, using different numbers. Divided by 4 over 7. You know how confusing that'll be for some people? So with that, man, Muhammad, come on, man. So with that, let's go ahead here and learn how to keep, change, flip. So over here in blue, the 2 and the 3 stays the exact same. Literally stays the exact same. 2/3. So with that, let me just, actually, no, I know how to do this. There we go. I know exactly what to do. Just to make it a little more illustrative. So I'll just write the multiply, because again, you keep this the same. Then you change the sign from multiplication to division. And then you flip the second fraction. So everybody, what does it mean to flip a fraction? What does that mean? What does it mean to flip a fraction? Right, and in the real world, we talk about that as flipping something upside down, right? Reciprocal, right there. Yes, yes, yes. Who was that? Yes, yes, yes. Chateya, that's right. So with that said, boom, we're going to go ahead and flip the other fraction, and then we're going to go from 4 over 7 to 7 over 4. So there it is. Feel free. Again, this is dividing fractions only. So I'm going to go ahead and title this, and then I'm going to let you take a screenshot. So over here, dividing fractions. All right, go ahead, take your screenshots. Right there, dividing fractions, keep, change, flip. That's exactly what it looks like. Keep, change, flip. Ken, preciprecel. Preciprecel. Sounds like you're saying anemones. All right, so with that, let's go ahead here. Take your screenshots, dividing fractions. Again, this is dividing fractions only. Only. So now that you've taken your first screenshot, take your second one. Take your second one. Because, no, seriously, I want you to, I'm really annoying you guys because I want you guys to really pay attention to these little details. They really matter at the end of the day. And if we keep overlooking them, then we keep having the same issues. And I don't want you to have the same issues because that's a result of a bad habit. So let's go ahead and recognize that it starts with me as your teacher here. So booyah, KCF, not KFC. And then after that, everybody, once you change it to this, what do? What do we do? Once we're done, keep, change, flipping. Exactly, we solved. Thank you, Desiree. Yeah, we just go ahead and solve it. If we have anything to simplify first, sure, do it. And then go ahead and multiply. Now, everybody, question, simple question. Can we simplify here before we do the keep, change, flip? Can we simplify before we do the keep, change, flip? No. Do not cross simplify before you keep, change, flip. Look at where the numbers are that you can manipulate. Let me go ahead and change the color to something like that. Okay, cool. You got the 2 up here and the 4 right there. Look at where it is. The 2 is up top and the 4 is on bottom. This is the rightful place, the right placement. What happens if you try to simplify before you have the right placement? Well, then you would be comparing the 2 with the 7. But what if there was something that you could simplify and it was actually supposed to be up top? Not going to work out. Same thing with mixed numbers. Same thing with mixed numbers. If you're trying to add mixed numbers, if you're trying to multiply mixed numbers or divide mixed numbers, you have got to turn those into improper fractions first. Improper fractions are decimals, but you have to turn them into the other form. So with that, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead now and practice dividing fractions. So all I'm going to expect you to do within the minute is go ahead and write all of these with keep, change, flip. That's it. Then if you have time to solve them, sure, go ahead. But first, keep, change, flip. Hey, Dwight, go ahead and type the question in because I did see that you arrived late to class. So I have a really good feeling that the question you're going to ask has a lot to do with something you may have missed. Timer has. Let's go. So 3/2 divided by 8/5. So we're going to go ahead and incorporate keep, change, flip. But you guys know me. I don't like to put in effort twice. So I'll go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to put this right over here. So it looks like we got, boom. All right, cool. So what we have here is keep the first fraction the same. Change the sign or the operation from division to multiplication. Again, they're the opposites. So you're good. And then flip the second fraction and you're all set. So that 8/5 becomes 5/8. All right. So is anybody here or yes or no, are we good on that part? Keep, change, flip. Again, only when dividing fractions, keep the first fraction, change from division to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction. Keep, change, flip. So nope, Caitlin, we are not allowed to simplify first because when you think about it, look at how in this question, you're checking this out and you might have thought that you could have simplified the 8 and the 2 right over here. You might have thought you could have, but the thing is, here's the problem. Caitlin only, answer me this question. This symbol right here means that you're dividing. Yes or no? Red symbol. Yes or no, that means you're dividing. Okay, great. So yes, it does mean that you're dividing. Now, everybody, is it true that this symbol also means you're dividing? So what does it mean to divide twice? Or not divide twice, but divide. What does that actually mean? Well, that means that you're multiplying the opposite. It's kind of like a double negative in a way, kind of. So with that said, everybody, you can't simplify because you have a double operation right there that you got to take care of. You got to make sure you take care of that first. Yes or no, does that make sense to anybody here? It's a double operation. You got to go ahead and actually fix it up to look at it in a way that you can actually tell what's going on. If you move on and you assume it's just division or multiplication, not the same thing. Got to wrap our heads around that. That way we don't get those mixed up. But there we have it. Is there anything to simplify before we multiply? Everybody, yes or no? Is there anything to simplify? Right, and here's why the answer is no. So Dwight, go ahead, pay attention here, and I got you. So when you're trying to say simplify, what you're asking is, okay, there's a 3 up top. Is 2 divisible by 3? No. Is 8 divisible by 3? 3, 6, 9. No, it doesn't go to 8. So the 3's out. Okay. Can 5 go into 2? No, 2 is just 2, 4, 6. Like, no, 5 cannot go into 2. That's not gonna work. 8. Well, 0, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10. It skips 8. So there's nothing that you can simplify. None of these numbers, so that none of the top and the bottom share the same factors, the same numbers that they're made up of, the same numbers that they multiply into. So with that, you just go ahead and multiply straight up and you're good. Nothing to do here. 15 over 16, and there's your answer. So we're going to go through another question here. I'm going to leave that one in view so you can still look at it, but I want to go ahead and take over into this next one now. So over here, I'm going to paste this again, and let's keep watching and learning. So over here, what we have is we're going to keep that first fraction, 15 over 2, the same. We're going to change the operation to multiplication, and we're going to flip the second fraction. So taking a look right here, that'll be 6 over 5. Now, allow me to show you, Dwight, right over here, exactly what simplifying is going to look like. Everybody, before I even continue though, yes or no, can we simplify the numerators and denominators? Can we simplify them? Right, the answer is yes, we can. Great. Now allow me to do that and articulate that for you slowly. So typically what you want to do is you want to look at the smaller numbers first. They really do give you a better sense of what to do. So on the bottom over here, I got a 2. So I got to find the number up top, if possible, that 2 can divide into. Everybody, which number is that? Which one of these numbers is divisible by 2? The 15 or the 6? The 6. So here's the thing. Everybody, we can break down the 6 into 2 times 3. So let me go ahead and rewrite everything nice and simply. So 15 over 2. And then what we're going to do over here is we're simply going to say that 6 is the same thing as saying 3 times 2. So knowing that, we have every ability to be like this. Okay, cool. If there's a 2 up top and there's a 2 on bottom, and we're dividing, well, they cancel out. Boom, they're gone. And we can do the same thing actually over here. We can do the same thing over here. Everybody, the 15 and the 5 over here, what do they share in common? What do the 15 and the 5 share in common? Yep. It's gonna be the 5. They share the 5 in common. And so when you want to look at it that way, what you must do is write it in what's called factored form. All that means is if 15 means 3 times 5, then literally replace the 15 over here with 3 times 5. That's it. That's literally what that means. Because now that you have a 5 up top and a 5 on the bottom, you can go ahead, play it smooth, cancel those out, and you're good. Because now what you'll see after canceling those out, 3 times 3, which is 9. These are 1s now. 1 times 1 is 1. And everybody, 9 divided by 1 is the same thing as saying, boom, 9. And there you have it. Here's your final answer. So let me know, everybody, not just Dwight. I want to make sure that we're all good here. Again, are we able to pick up on the next step? I'm not sure that we can say that we can be perfect at it after 1 or 2 tries. Not really expecting that. What I am asking is, was there something that you were confused on before arriving on this page that right now you're like, okay, I paid attention to that specific part and I see that it's a little less confusing now. I'm getting a little better at it, or I'm understanding it a little better. And if you are not sure what the answer is to that, ask yourself this: what is it? Right? You have to ask yourself what you're stuck on. Because if you're just saying, hey, I'm just confused overall, well, then we have to specify what it is that we want to work on. Okay? Little by little, guys. Exactly. Little by little. So, okay, I'm stuck where you put the 15 over 2 in the third step. So, yeah, so let's just keep, change, flip. So, third step. Oh, okay, so the 15, remember, Latrell, 15 is 3 times 5. All I did was replace the 15, 3 times 5. That's all I did. That's all I did. I just replaced the 15 with 3 times 5. Yeah, that's exactly it. This is the same thing as 15, but it allowed me to see the 5 right here and the 5 on the bottom to cancel them out. That was the idea. Yeah. And if you would have done it the other way, what you would have gotten would have been 15 times 6, which is 90, 2 times 5, which is 10, and then that would have given you 9, either way. So in this case, doing it the long way, well, that really depends on how quickly you know 15 times 6. Really up to you. So number 3 over here, we have 18 over 5 divided by 3 over 25. So checking this out here, boom, keep, change, flip. We're going to go ahead, keep the first fraction. Let me get that timer out of the way there. Boom. And then over here, multiplication, and then 25 over 3. So with that said, boom, let's go ahead now and see if there's anything that we can simplify. So everybody, well, actually, let me just show you the long way really quick. Let me just, one more time, this is the last time I'll do it. Let me just show you how annoying the long way is. 18 times 25, who knows what the answer to that is? Come on, 450, no, nobody knew that? 450, nobody? Nobody? There we go. Yeah, so mental math time, 18 times 20 is 360. 18 times 5 is 90. 360 plus 90, 450. Come on. So with that, that would have given us, again, 450. And then 5 times 3, that's going to give you 15. And then right there, you got to know that, well, 45 is divisible by 15. That's going to be 3. And so keep that 0 there to get 30. So everybody, is it realistic for you to know how to do 18 times 25 right this second before you have the training? Is it realistic for you to expect that? Right, like not exactly at this moment, it's not realistic. If you think it's realistic for you, you know who you're talking about, you know who you are, you know you've been practicing, and I'm proud of you. But if it's a no, if it's an honest no, why would you want to spend the extra 20 seconds doing this? You know, like, it's really a good idea to know your mental math. I'm telling you, you're always going to be calculating on the ASVAB, always. You're adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fractions, percents, decimals, or integers. Always, always. And so, like, why would you want that to be your slowest procedure or your least confident procedure, right? So we got this. So here we go, 450 divided by 15. If you know your mental math, again, that'll be 30. But again, not very realistic to get that literally instantly. So let's do ourselves a favor here. Let me put that over there. And we're going to go ahead and see what factors we have. So everybody, what's the smallest number that we see here? Quickly, what's the smallest number we see? We see the 3. So everybody, the 3 is on the bottom. So everybody type it out for me. What is your question? If I know that I have my smallest number, that is 3, on the bottom, what question am I asking myself to further myself to getting the question right? What am I asking myself? Lena, great job there. So Muhammad, even better there. Yeah, so Lena asks, can the 3 go into the 18? Muhammad asks, can the 3 go into the 18 or 25? That's the better question, but there's a best question. There's a generalized version of this question. And if you have your factor in the denominator, you're asking, hey, do any of the numerators have that same factor? Does 18 or 25 have a 3 in it? And the answer is yes, 18. 18 has a 3 in it. So what I can do here is I can go ahead and replace 18 with what, everybody? Exactly, 3 times 6. I can replace the 18 with 3 times 6. Because again, 18 is 3 times 6. And then from there, we have that 25. And we notice that we can cancel out the 3 and the 3. Did anybody notice what else we can cancel out? Yep. We can go ahead and take care of that 5. Absolutely. So what we have going on here is going to be replacing the 25 with 5 times 5. Because again, that's what 25 is. 25 is 5 times 5. And so we can cancel out the 5 as well. Right here and right there. And boom. That gives us the opportunity. Again, this is not meant to be take forever. I'm just simply going through the motions and showing you every step. But when you're in real time, it's expected that you'll get faster and faster, and eventually you won't even have to word mouths, or you don't even have to have words going through your mind. Like, it's literally just going to be automatic. We want that. So with that, boom, the 5 gets canceled. I don't know why it erased, but there we have it. And then we have 6 times 5, which is 30. This is 1 times 1, which is 1. And so that's 30. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a quick little pulse check. Who here is prone to doing it the long way? Who here is more prone to doing it the simplify first, then multiply method, the quicker way? Because again, the longer way is a little more stable. You don't have to think about any factors if you just want to multiply and then break things down. Sure. But if you like to cancel because it gives you smaller numbers to deal with, although you do have to factor, again, there's give and take with each strategy. There's give and take with each strategy. So who is ready for some timed practice? Who is ready for some time practice? All right, so Israel, I'll take your question there, boss. And then, if you want to raise your hand real quick, Israel, 3, 2, and all right. Give him a double take. All right, no worries. So with that, let's go ahead and do a quick guided warm up here for multiplication. We have another one for division, and then we had, let's go.
Thanks for going ahead and taking the time to raise your score. I know it's not easy. I know it's tough. I know you got a lot to work through, so I do appreciate you. I'm Coach Anderson, and if you wouldn't mind, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That way you can get updated as we continue posting daily, so you can continue getting the help and advice you deserve. So again, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep rocking the ASVAB.
So let's go ahead and get to work. This first one here, 9/7 times 2/3. Before we start, how many are you confident that you got correct, everybody? 0, 1, 2, or 3. How many are you confident that you got correct? All right, let's try it out here. So 9/7 multiplied by 2/3. So the long way to do this would have been, hey, 9 times 2, 18, 7 times 3, 21. And then from there, you just have to break down 18 and 21 and ask yourself, okay, well, what are they both divisible by? Well, they're both divisible by 3. 3 times 6 and 3 times 7. So with that, you can go ahead and divide the 3 out of both the top and the bottom. Everybody, this is the same thing as canceling, same thing as simplifying. So let me just go ahead and write that note there. Same thing as simplifying, just shown a different way. Same thing as simplifying. You're just dividing the same number from the top and the bottom. Same deal. That's what canceling is. That's what simplifying is. Yeah, that's right, Jalen, we are. Tomorrow is all word problems. Yeah, tomorrow is all word problems. Because again, last week we had adding, subtracting fractions. Today we have multiplying, dividing. And then tomorrow, now that we've gone over the operations, boom, we're going to be going over word problems that incorporate everything. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. So with that, we divide both the top and the bottom by 3, giving us 6/7. Who here got 6/7? Right on. And I'm going to show you the simplified way, the faster way. For those of you asking why we didn't keep change flip, everybody who wants to answer that question for me, why did we not keep change flip? Why do we not keep, change, flip? Israel, why do we not keep, change, flip, my man?
This is because we are just straight multiplying. If we are dividing, then we keep changing flip.
Boom. We are not dividing. Exactly, Latrell. So, or excuse me, exactly, Israel. So Latrell, notice again, we are multiplying here, not dividing. So we are following the multiplication rules. It's when you're dividing fractions, only when you're dividing fractions, that you will do the keep, change, flip method. So let's go ahead and move forward. And again, the other way we could have seen this is like this. 9 is the same thing as 3 times 3. So what you could have done is just said, yo, cancel the 3, and you're good. Then you have yourself right over here. 3 times 2, that's 6. And then you just have 7. And you're good. So either way would have been just fine. Either way would have been just fine. Next up, we have 2 times 1 over 8. Did anybody pause at this one and be like, yo, Coach Anderson ain't teach us this yet? Did anybody look at it that way? Coach, you did not prepare us for this yet. So let's just go ahead and take it back because, we've learned this before. We've absolutely learned this before, but I want to make sure that you are in a position to just remember what you know. So everybody, 2 is the same thing as writing what? If I wanted to write it as a fraction, 2 is the same thing as 2 divided by 1, right? 2 divided by 1. So what I'll do here is 2 over 1. And I'll do my thing. 2 times 1, that's 2. 1 times 8 is 8. And here I'll just go ahead and simplify. Everybody, what are 2 and 8 both divisible by? Right, 2 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and divide the top and the bottom by 2, giving me 1 over 4. Bam, right there. And then lastly, we have 3 multiplied by 3 over 4, which again, we can turn that 3 into 3 over 1, telling us to go ahead and do 3 times 3, which is 9, 1 times 4, which is 4, and there's your answer, 9 over 4. So there we have it for the first page here. There we have it for the first page. Are we good to speed up the process? And I'm only going to give you the answers. If we're going to do drill and kill, I'll give you the 3 answers and we'll move on to the next question. Who is ready for that? I see some folks saying, oh, let me go and use the bathroom now. All right, full send. Israel, you got a question real quick?
No, I just wanted to say once you know the simplifying thing, then you just do that mentally. I didn't grab my pencil.
Oh, got you. Yeah, because the thing is, look, when you're looking at even dividing fractions, when you do the keep, change, flip, you can imagine yourself doing already the keep, change, flip, and then simplifying. If you can run yourself through the whole question, that's really what you want. So good stuff, man. Let's keep it going. So here we go. 3, 2, and let me get this. Come on, reset, and let's go. So here with this first one, the way I see it, that's 11 and 2. And then from there, that's pretty much it. So and 6 times 29, 6 times 30 is 180. So that's gonna be 174. So you should have 55 over 174 for the first one. Then the second one, let me go ahead and check this out here. 11 over 10 times 15 over 14. $33 over 28 for the second one. And then for the third one, $8 over 7. So those are your 3 answers. Hopefully we're feeling pretty good about that. Hopefully we are feeling pretty good. For those of you that have been asking about the program, I keep ignoring it every class until like the very end. But go ahead and go to that link at the bottom left if you want to learn more about the full program. I want to make sure that we can finish this class just focusing on this today. So there we have it. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Let's keep it timed. 3, 2, and let's go. So I'm checking out the first one here. Our final answer will be 6/5. I'm just giving you the final answer will be 6/5. Up next, we have 2/5 multiplied by half, which is the same thing as 1/5. Because what's half of 2/5? 1/5. Boom. You can think about that in English too. Then after that, what we end up having for the next one here, we have division. So keep, change, flip. So I'll at least show you what that looks like. Keep, change, flip. And then from there, what happens is you get 2 times 3, which is 6/1, and that is 6. So we end up having our answers as 6/5, 1/5, and 6. All right, let's go to the next set of 3 here. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So thank you for everybody who was patient in the beginning, knowing those mechanics from earlier. I do appreciate you being patient there all day. There you go. A quarter divided by 22/13. First things first, keep, change, flip. So 1/4 times 13/22. I'm looking at that automatically and saying they have no common factors. So just multiply. You're good. 13/88, and we're set. Notice how quick that was. Notice how quick that was. That's real time. That's real speed. Let's look at the next one here. 7/4 divided by 7/10. So change that immediately. Flip, change, flip. Cancel that out right there. That becomes 2. That becomes 5. 5/2 is our answer. If you want to change that into a mixed number, 2.5 or 2.5. You should be able to do all of that right there, right away. Like you should know that 2.5 is 2.5, especially 2.5. You know, if it was like 7/8, like, okay, that's fine. I know it takes time, but 2.5, you should know that that's the decimal 2.5 instantly. We have to know that. So real time again, 1/5 divided by 5/3. Keep, change, flip. So I know that that's going to be 1/5, 3/5 there. And then we just have 3/25. Boom. Again, that's real time. That is real time. Do I expect you to get to that speed today? No, but I do expect you to get there by this weekend because I'm going to be putting up over 500 questions in the math boot camp. That's a great segue for a class announcement reminder. But yeah, so that's the idea, guys. Remember, coming out this Thursday afternoon, over 500 questions in exam format to give you the opportunity to do rapid drill and kill. So get ready for that. All right, so next set, 3, 2, 1, get started.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the session recording so far. So as always, if you're looking for extra ASVAB help and support from a coach to kind of guide you through the process, study planning, and all the materials you need, just shoot me a text real quick. Again, I'm Coach Anderson, 567-698-8867. Go ahead and ask me about my All-Access program, or just ask me about the program in general. I'll be more than happy to tell you about it so you know that you can stress less and raise your score with ease. Again, I'm Coach Anderson. Let's ace the ASVAB. Text me now, and then let's keep going.
Go. Number 1, what we have going on, dividing fractions. Our final answer should end up being something to the effect of, let's see, 2, 3, 6, 13/6. I'm going to do it all in one shot here. I'm trying to at least. So that's going to be 1/3. So that's going to be 19/21. Then from here, lastly, sorry, so what we have here is we're just going to go and flip that over, and that's going to give us 3/4. So 15 over whatever 19 times 4 is. So that's going to be 76. Yeah, 76. Cool. All right, and there we got it. There we go, there we go, there we go. All 3 answers, 13/6, 19/21, and 15/76. All right, next up, let's try to get a couple more here. Let's try to get a couple more. 3, 2, and let's go. So practice mixed operations. Let's have some fun here. So 2/3 multiplied by 6/5. So there is no keep, change, flip here. Straight up do it. So I'm taking a look. 6/3. That's going to cancel to leave a 2 up top. So we have 4/5. We have ourselves 4/5. All right. Moving up next, we are looking at our second one here. Boom, boom, boom. 4/5 divided by 6/7. Okay, so over here, keep, change, flip. Taking care of business here. And that's going to be 4/6. That's 2/3. 3 with the 5 is 15. And the 2 with 7 is 14. So we're looking at 14/15 for that second one. All right. Lastly, we have 7/9 times 7/10. That's going to be 49/90. We are done. Nothing to simplify, so you can go straight through it and you're set. We're going to do another one here, everybody. Let's go. We're going to go all the way to the wire. And if you want to learn more about the program after class, then you can stay after class. But I want everybody to go until 8 o'clock at least today, man. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Next. 9 divided by 8/15. Let's check this one out. So we're dividing. Always make sure keep, change, flip. We're going to have the 15 up top, the 8 on the bottom. The 9 and the 15, those will cancel out. So you're going to give yourself a 3 with that. 3 with the 8, which in that case, that's going to give you that 24. Then you're going to have your 7 with your 5, and that's going to be 35. So 35/24 would be your answer, and you're set. Again, if it sounded like I was just rambling, no worries. So with that, 7/12 divided by 2/9, the answer here, just going to go ahead and work it out quickly to keep more of y'all on board. So with that, over here, 3 and 4. And so we have 21/8. And there's your second one, and your third one is going to be 10/13 multiplied by 9/4. And so that, looking at this, you say, okay, turn that into 5, turn that into 2. And that's really all you can do. So from there, we have 5 times 9, 45, and 13 times 2, 26. And you are good. 45/26. So with that, who's feeling pretty good about these? Who's feeling like, yo, we are, I feel like I got that one right, maybe not all 3, that's okay, but we're making that progress. Like I'm feeling a little more confident and comfortable, even though at first I may have gotten them all wrong. But the thing is, it just takes one. Once you get that first one right, then you ask yourself, okay, what did I do right here that I didn't do right over there? Then you go back and you fix that problem, and you fix the other one, and you fix the other one, and you go ahead and actually gain that confidence that you needed. So I really want to urge you guys to think about it in that way. It's not a process of, rights and wrongs. It's about the understanding why, because you can go back and correct those wrongs while you're here and practicing and being intentional. That way, when you don't have the opportunity to change your answers or go back and change your work, all of it after you see it, you don't have that. You want to be prepared for that. So get it right here, make the mistakes here, learn the lessons here, and apply them over there.